We show you this remarkable scene. A policeman in a supposedly civilized country busting into an Easter service and attempting to close it down, which was in fact an illegal act by those coppers. In this case, the massed ranks of the constabulary didn't measure up to one determined pastor, and he cast them out of his church. That preacher joins us now, Arthur Pawlowski. Pastor, it is great to see you. You're joining us from Calgary, where those nice Canadian police suddenly invaded, and you basically, through the sheer force of your personality, threw them out of the temple, and it was a wonderful thing to see those guys retreating down the stairs. What's interesting is you grew up behind the Iron Curtain, and what happened to you over Easter is exactly, I take it, why you didn't want to stay behind the Iron Curtain.
That's exactly, sir. Thank you so much for having me. I grew up under communist dictatorship behind the Iron Curtain, under the boot of the Soviets, and I'm telling you, that's no fun at all. It was a disaster. Police officers could break into your house 5 in the morning. They could beat you up, torture. They could arrest you for no matter what reason they would come up with. There was a famous saying in Poland when I was growing up by the police: "Give me a man and we will find something on that man." So it was like a flashback when those police officers showed up at my church. Everything kind of came back to life from my childhood. And the only thing I could do is to fend off the wolves as a shepherd. And I used my voice to get rid of them. They were illegally encroaching on our rights during the most holy days, during the Passover celebration. How dare they? The audacity of those people coming. It was a shocking thing. I was a little bit shaken, but I did what every shepherd right now on the planet Earth should be doing: fend off the...
Get out of this property immediately. Get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Please get out. Get out of this property immediately. Get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. 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 Out of this property immediately. Out. Immediately go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word. Out of this property immediately. Out. I don't care what you have to say. Out. Out. Out of this property, you Nazis. Out. Out. Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not allowed. Out. Do you understand English? Get out of this property. Go. So go. Go. And don't come back without the warrant.
I know that voice. It belongs to our friend, Arthur Pawlowski, the very first case in our FightTheFines.com civil liberties.
Get out of this property immediately. Get out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. Out. Out.
You're required to be in court on those both on March 24th.
That will be my 325th ticket. Whoa, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't care what you have to say. Out!
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. Today's video features Arthur Pawlowski, pastor of the Cave of Adullam Church in Calgary. Despite the lockdowns in Canada, Arthur has always kept the church open and organizes soup kitchens to feed the homeless with his congregation.
We've got cheese, we've got cookies.
Over the past year, he's become a target and has received hundreds of tickets for his altruism, even though soup kitchens are exempt.
You're required to be in court on those both on March 24th.
That will be my 325th ticket. I have faced over 100 court cases, over 10 arrests. Whoa, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, for operating a soup kitchen. For operating soup kitchen. Do you know that soup kitchens are exempt?
On April 3rd, 2021, the church was celebrating Shabbat. When I spoke with Arthur, he made the importance of the day very clear, telling me it's the most important and holy day of the year. On that day, an environmental health employee, officers of the Calgary Bylaw Services, and police officers showed up to the church about an hour prior to the church services. Arthur has told me that there is usually a church or family member at the door that denies officers entry when they show up, and when they do, he will go outside to speak with them. But this time, they entered without permission or warrant, and Arthur began recording as soon as he could.
Please get out. Get out of this property. Immediately get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. Out! 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 Out of this property! Immediately out! Immediately go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word. Out of this out of this property. Immediately out. I don't care what you have to say. Out! Out! Out of this property, you Nazis! Out! Out! Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not allowed. Out! Do you understand English? Get out of this property. Go. So go. Go. And don't come back without a warrant. Out, Nazi. Out. Out. You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out. And don't come back without a warrant. Do not come back without a warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths. Unbelievable, sick, evil people. Intimidating people in a church during the Passover. You Gestapo, Nazi, communists, fascists. Don't you dare coming back here.
Under the Criminal Code of the Revised Statutes of Canada, Section 176, Subsection 2, everyone who willfully disturbs or interrupts an assemblage of persons met for religious worship or for a moral, social, or benevolent purpose is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction. Arthur has received hundreds of tickets for his peaceful gatherings. Let me know in the comments if you think these state employees will be ticketed for violating the criminal code.
Can you imagine those psychopaths? Passover, the holiest Christian festival in a year, and they're coming to intimidate Christians during the holiest festival? Unbelievable. What is wrong with those sick psychopaths? It's beyond me. Wow. Wow. How dare they? How dare they? Sick people. Sick people.
The officers leave without any further interaction, but I doubt this story is over.
Wow. For my terrible crimes of being a Christian in Canada, for doing what the Bible commands me to do, for exercising my rights and freedoms, fundamentally protected under the Charter Rights and Freedoms. Wow. If we will not stand up, if we will not fight, this country is over. Your rights are over, your freedoms are over. Stand up, rise up, or else. And I have been saying this for the past 16 years.
Life from my childhood, and the only thing I could do is to fend off the wolves as a shepherd, and I used my voice to get rid of them. They were illegally encroaching on our rights during the most holy days, during the Passover celebration. How dare they? The audacity of those people coming. It was a shocking thing. I was a little bit shaken, but I did what every shepherd right now on the planet Earth should be doing, fend off the wolves. We as lions should never bow before the hyenas, and that's what they are right now.
Well, the hyenas are fairly confident in their powers, and a lot of the things that have become accepted in the last year, for example, New York police kicking a woman to the ground because she's not wearing a mask, governors of American states and Canadian provinces telling you whether you're allowed to have your granny or your aunt over for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I mean, that is the kind of tight 24/7 control that most communist countries lived under for half a century from the end of the Second World War. Is it all beginning to look worryingly familiar to you, the way people accept it?
Yes, it is. I have been warning Canadians for the past 16 years that that's what's coming. I could smell it. I could see it at every corner. The implementation of what we are seeing now, it started way about 20 years ago. So growing up under communist dictatorship, I mean, that's a disaster. That's hell on earth. And I see it already in our Western democracies. So the only way I know how to fight them is 1981, that I witnessed millions of Poles taking to the streets and saying to them, no more, get out of our country, get out, stop. Millions of Poles took it to the streets during Solidarity, Lech Wałęsa, and they want their freedom. Right now, if you want your freedom back, because we have to remember, history is teaching us that those people will never give up their new gained powers. You gotta demand those rights back. You have to fight for your rights. They'll never give it back to you freely. So how to do it? Get them out of your properties, out of your businesses, out of your churches. Open up, open the churches. Clergymen should unite and start pushing this darkness away. And we should come and take to the streets and say no more lockdowns, no more restrictions. We will not put up with this anymore. We are fighting back.
Well, thank you for that, Pastor. That is very inspiring. I would love to see a Lech Wałęsa 1980
with AHS, and here they are behind. So we'll see what is about to happen. Freedom in Canada, democracy in Canada, full force, unbelievable.
Hello, sir.
Gangsters are here.
So, as per the injunction that was served on Arthur here and David back here, I am to place both of them under arrest for breaching the Queen's Bench order.
Both of us under arrest.
Yes, sir. Would you please step out of the car?
What's your name, officer?
Andrews, 5244.
Okay.
So how do you feel being a Nazi now? And then we got a gangster here.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel being a Nazi and breaking the
Gestapo. What's his officer? What's your name and number?
You.
Sorry?
What's your name and number, please?
5283 Constable Garwood.
A Nazi, a lawbreaker. You're breaking the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So can you look in your mirror, man?
So I have advised both you and Mr. Pawlowski over there that you guys are both under arrest. Please, if you would,
Dave,
step out of the vehicle and comply.
Sure. Report. Yes. Open the door, man. Whoa! Stop!
Get you to stay in the car.
If you're not recording, it's backwards. Straight out one car.
What's your name, officer?
Do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style. You're good Gestapo, do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style! Do it, then taser me, kill me! Do it the Nazi style.
communist China? Didn't you guys have family and kids? Whatever happened to Canada? God keep our land glorious and free. What are they going to do when they come for your kids? Shame on you guys. You call yourselves Canadians? Man, where's your oath? Where's your honor? Where's your dignity? You guys aren't Canadian. Bootlickers, man. Gestapo bootlickers. Where's your honor, sir? Whatever.
Bloody coward! You're a coward! Run away! You're a woman in man's clothes! Bloody Stasi Nazi coward! Loser on the money! People see! You bloody coward! Arresting people like the Nazis! Nazi! Coward! Run away, you pig! You're a woman in man's clothes! Bloody Stasi Nazi coward! Loser on the money! People see! You bloody coward! Arresting people like the Nazis! Nazi! Nazi! Nazi coward! You're a Nazi coward! 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 Bunch of women in men's clothes! Coward! Run away, you coward! Go get your paycheck, you loser!
Bless you, patriot.
Those guys are evil, Stasi Nazi. They're so cowardly, they just want a paycheck, right? It's just for the money, right? They're going to God and Nenchi and Kenny. Bunch of coward losers!
Yeah, you're right.
Of where all this is going, look no further than our neighbor to the north. Now, you may have seen this video of the Canadian pastor kicking the COVID mask enforcers out of his church. Well, just days ago, the authorities caught up to him after he held a morning church service, and then watch what happened.
Gestapo psychopaths. Gestapo psychopaths you are. Gestapo. Do it! They'll taser me! Kill me! Do it! They're not...
That man, Pastor Artur Pawlowski, joins me now. Pastor, you said you spent 30 hours in solitary confinement after what we just saw?
Yeah, total we
What's
spent 3
happened to
days.
your country?
We have no rights whatsoever. What we have right now is some kind of a hybrid between the fascism and communism, medical tyranny. It looks like we have absolutely no rights whatsoever. The premier of Alberta right now declared the protesting is illegal. So when I opened my church in the protest against the government overreach, I was, as you saw, I was taken to custody. I was manhandled. They really wanted me to be hurt. They threw me into a cell. They deprived me from sleep for 2 days. I spent 3 days in jail for my crime of opening the church in a free and democratic society.
Did you ever think you would see this in a supposedly free and democrat society? A former Eastern Bloc, you know what tyranny and dictatorships are like. Did you ever think you would see this?
No, I escaped tyranny. I escaped communism and socialism. I came to Canada only because Canada was offering me freedom. And here we are again, a repetition of history. And I decided I'm going to stand up and fight to the death. That's what I said to the officer. You know, you're not going to intimidate me. You can torture me if you want, or shoot me dead, or taser me, but I'm going to fight until the day I die. I have 3 children. And if, you know, that's my message to the people. If you don't want to do it for yourself, please have some decency and do it for your children, because what kind of country are we going to leave behind for the future generation? How are we going to look into the faces of our children, our sons and daughters, and say to them, yeah, we allowed this to happen. We did nothing. We didn't care about your future.
Here's what the police said about your arrest. Law enforcement recognizes people's right to desire to participate in faith-based gatherings, as well as right to protest. However, as we find ourselves in the midst of a global pandemic, we all must comply with public health orders. Pastor, your reaction?
Oh, it's a sham. This whole thing is a big fat lie. When I grew up behind the Iron Curtain, that's what we were receiving on a daily basis: lie, manipulation, misinformation. If you were looking for the truth, you were arrested, sentenced to jail. If you were caught listening to European radio, you could face 5 years jail time. That's why they're deplatforming Christians. They're deplatforming anyone that opposes them and brings forth the truth, because they're terrified of the truth. Like I always say, lie is afraid of the truth. Truth is never afraid of the lie. So they need to remove people like me. We are growing. We are growing by the thousands. Our church is full. Yeah. We have thousands of people coming to the rallies, and then we have become political prisoners.
A large number of pastors have been getting arrested for holding services in their places of worship, with more arrests happening this weekend during the Christians' holiest celebration, the Passover.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Don't touch me. Go on.
According to Pastor Perry, police marched right into a Sunday service, walked up to the pulpit in the middle of the service, and told him he had to shut it down. Pastor Perry refused to end service without a final prayer, after which he was arrested.
Stay with peace. You get into the car.
Police then started taking details of some of the members of the congregation, most likely to deliver monetary fines. In Alberta, Canada, the pastor of a church that was raided by 6 police officers demanded the officers leave the property and stop intimidating his parishioners on the most holy of holidays.
Out. And don't come back without a warrant. Do not come back without a warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here.
Imagine those psychopaths. Passover, the holiest Christian festival in a year, and they're coming to intimidate Christians.
Pastor Arthur Pawlowski of Street Church called the officers Nazis, which is a reference to the paramilitary forces used in Nazi-era Germany. The pastor also told the officers not to come back without a warrant. Pawlowski said the officers were not there to uphold social distancing guidelines, but wanted to intimidate Christian worshipers during the Passover. And dramatic video has surfaced showing police officers shutting down an Easter service at a South London church on Good Friday.
It is Good Friday, and I appreciate you would like to worship, that this gathering is unlawful, so please may you leave the building now. Thank you.
2 officers took control of the pulpit and threatened to fine members of the congregation $276 or arrest them if they did not leave. The Catholic Mission said the police, quote, brutally exceeded their powers and that the rights of the faithful were wronged on such an important day for every believer. The pastor of Grace Life Church, who was jailed for more than a month for holding service in violation of COVID-19 restrictions, defended his decision, saying he answers to Jesus Christ and not the restrictive guidelines put in place by the government.
First time in my ministry, the government is reaching into the life of the church. That's my domain. That's the domain of the elders here at Grace Life Church. That's the Lord Jesus Christ's domain. Attempting to dictate to us the terms of worship is not the government's jurisdiction, and I refuse to give the government what isn't theirs. Caesar has no jurisdiction here.
During the shutdowns, liquor stores, marijuana shops, and big chain grocery stores were allowed to operate, while churches and places of worship were shut down.
Oh, they got a whole bunch of us. Okay, start filming. They got 3 cops, 4 cop cars, 1 paddy wagon.
Well, it looks like the police is catching us after the church service in the middle of the road. They waited with AHS, and here they are behind. So we'll see what is about to happen. Freedom in Canada, democracy in Canada, full force, unbelievable. The gangsters are here.
So, as per the injunction that was served on Arthur here and Dave back here, I am to place both of them under arrest for breaching the Queen's Bench order.
Both of us under arrest.
Yes, sir. Would you please step out of the car?
What's your name, officer?
Andrews, 5244.
Okay. So how do you feel being a Nazi now?
And then we got a gangster here.
How do you
Wanna
feel
be
being a Nazi and breaking the
Gestapo.
What's his officer? What's your name and number? Sorry. What's your name and number, please?
5283, Constable Garwood.
How can you look in your mirror, man?
I have advised both you and Mr. Pulaski over there that you guys are both under arrest. Please, if you would, step out of the vehicle.
Sure. Record. Yes.
Open the door, man. Whoa, stop.
Without the warrant. Out, Nazi. Out. Out. You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out. And don't come back without the warrant. Do not come back without the warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths. Unbelievable, sick, evil people. Intimidating people in a church during the Passover. You Gestapo, Nazi, communists, fascists. Don't you dare coming back here. Can you imagine those psychopaths? Passover, the holiest Christian festival in a year, and they're coming to intimidate Christians during the holiest festival? Unbelievable. What is wrong with those sick psychopaths? It's beyond me. Wow. Wow. How dare they? How dare they? Sick people. Sick people. Unbelievable. We're living in a takeover, a total takeover of the government with their thugs, goons, the brown shirts, the Gestapo wannabe dictators coming to the church armed with guns and tasers and handcuffs to intimidate during Passover celebration?
Well, I guess that's what it is. They want to enslave us all like the Egyptians did. They want to be pharaohs of today. That's what they're doing. Unbelievable. People, if you will not wake up, stand up, wow, I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. If Canadians will not rise up, look what is happening in Germany. Germany is taken over by fascism again. The wannabe Hitlers are already ruling. You cannot even leave from one city to another. It's a total lockdown. If you will not be vaccinated like a dog or a cat, you will not be able to buy or sell. You will not be able to go to school or work. Is that the future you want? Is that what you want for your children and your grandchildren? Seriously, is that the future of Canada? That's the future of Canada? Wow. Unbelievable. You enter an era in the country where there is no law and order, it's over. Yeah. That's it, it's gone. It's gone. If you cannot go to the court and demand justice, then you have lawlessness. And the only thing that people will be able to do is to get the masses and do solidarity once again. I have a message. I have a message for the policeman and for the politician. I witnessed that. When the people had enough, when they were angry enough, the policemen were running for their lives. I'm not kidding. They were hiding and running away for their lives because people wanted blood. You have done this to me. You've killed my brother. You raped my woman. You raped my sister. You know, you've done this because you had a badge, because you could get away. Now you cannot get away. I will catch you. I'll hunt you down. And police officers that have done stuff like this, they were running for their lives. And the politicians, they were hiding like rats. You see what history is teaching us? That in the end of the day, today they are on top. But tomorrow can be a different thing, because tomorrow people can get that message. And that's my message. Get that message and tell them, get out. Get out. Because this is my country. This is your country. This is not their country. We are in this together. This is our home. And if we're not going to defend our home, our children, our women, our grandchildren, our businesses, our churches, what are we going to defend them?
No. I'm sorry you have to be the one to do this, but you're the one that's participating in this whole thing. Yeah. It's really sad for me because I know the BLM has been calling for you guys to be defunded. A lot of leftists have been saying you guys don't deserve your funding. They want to get rid of you. Most of the conservatives and Christians have been supporting you. But it's things like this that make us not want to support you. Because you guys, I know you're just doing your job, but in the big picture, this is the kind of thing they did in other countries. Soviet Union, all sorts of authoritarian countries. Every police officer said, I was just following orders. So, I hope you well. I don't actually wish you any harm. I hope if you have kids that you don't have to go through this someday. I really do.